Hello there. Welcome to my show, COVID-19 Update by Heerak. Yeah. Today is the fourth day of Republican National Convention. We caught a lot of the uh, shows from fourth day of Republican National Convention. As you know, this is a big election year. I'm running for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. My name is Heerak Christian Kim. I'm an independent candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. Um, I'm a conservative. I've been a Republican all of my life. Um, yeah, I have a lot of friends in the Republican Party. Um, yeah, hopefully, we'll keep going more and more conservative in America. Uh, can I get a five on going more and more conservative in America? um, yeah, yeah, it's somewhere August. We have about a week left of beach. A lot of people in North Carolina, they could just like go to the beach over the weekend. A lot of good beaches in North Carolina. And North Carolina, I think, Charlotte, North Carolina is close to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So they can hop down for that too. So, hey, you can mix business with pleasure. um, yeah, a lot of swimsuits, as you see. North Carolina is in the south. South Carolina is the south. Virginia is in the south. I mean, Richmond, Virginia was the capital of the Confederacy, right? So, yeah, I mean, I like the South. I like, Confederate design bikinis. I think it's very aesthetically pleasing, especially on a beautiful woman's body. God created women, you know, so you can't really complain, right? you know, um, yeah, God created a lot of Southern women to be very, very beautiful. I'm happy to be in Virginia. You know, I like the South. Although, I've shared before, women in Georgia look prettier though. I don't know. I mean, it may be, where I am in Virginia, but like when I went to my graduation at University of West Georgia, I saw so many beautiful women. It was like, it was kind of shocking. I was like, maybe I should move to Georgia, you know, marry a Georgia peach. I'm not married. I'm single. I've never been married. I don't have children. So, yeah, I'm hoping God will send me somebody beautiful. Somebody who's Christian, obviously. That's a given. They have to be a good Christian. But, after being a good Christian, which is a given, the most important thing for me is like a beautiful face and a beautiful body. Um, just everything else is secondary. They could always come, you know. They could marry me and get a bachelor's, master's, and doctorate, in person or online, You know. So yeah, that's not very, very important, For successful marriage, degrees don't really matter, you know. Uh, yeah, I think the most important thing in marriage is you gotta marry the woman you love, and the woman has to be pretty, right? I mean, geez, has to be beautiful in your eyes. I think that's the most important thing. Everything else is not that important, you know. Um, yeah, you're listening to Arabic music in the background because I'm doing top five Arabic or Middle East. Although Israel is not Arabic, but they do have a lot of Palestinians there. Um, so I like Arabic music, Um, oh, you like it? Yeah, it's nice. Modern Arabic music, good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I like the South. Obviously, I'm proud to be a U.S. citizen, but I am proud to be in Virginia. Um, and Richmond, Virginia is the capital of Confederacy historically. I appreciate Southern culture. I like Southern history. I like Southern food, Southern heritage. Yeah. Yeah. So take my one question survey. you know, um, do you like the South? you know, I hope the quick one question survey is a yes. you know, I like the South. So yeah, yeah, I'm very happy to be in Virginia, which is the capital of Confederacy, right? It has a lot of historical traditions and culture that's really nice. Southern culture was a gentleman's culture. Actually, the North was more industrial. The South was more agricultural, and there's more genteel life. Uh, so Southern culture was a very beautiful culture. If you see the movie Gone with the Wind, you get a taste of beautiful Southern culture around the time of Civil War. They were genteel women, and Southern belles, are famous for their, kind of practiced femininity, polished elegance, and within certain areas in the South, you still have that, so it's, there are people who are trying to keep the Southern culture alive, which is a great thing. It's a beautiful culture, certainly there are a lot of things that we could remember from that. And I just like the color, blue and red, and I just like the the kind of the design. It's nice, I mean, when you say the design is really nice on a swimsuit. Um, yeah, as you know, we only have 1 week of beach life left. It's TGIF tomorrow. So I hope you go ahead and have fun on the beach, My gosh, it's time to have fun at the beach. Oh, geez, you only have 1 week left. It's this weekend and next weekend, and there's no more beach, and COVID-19 is coming in flu season. There may be 3 million Americans or more dying in flu season. Everything's going to be closed. Restaurants, bars, cafes, bowling alleys, movie theaters, everything's going to be closed. Everything's going to be closed. There's a lot of people will be dying. So, make sure you go and have fun when you can. You only have a week left. My gosh, Um, yeah, go have fun. Make sure you social distance, obviously. Um, wear a mask if you're near anybody. Try to stay 6 feet away from others, But yeah, beach is like sky's the limit. You're not really going to get COVID in the beach. You're going to get COVID if you're like inside a bar, inside a restaurant, inside a cafe with ceilings that are low. Yeah, that's where you're going to get COVID. But if you're outside in the beach, it's really hard to get COVID, especially if you're like 6 feet away from people. You're not going to get COVID. And when you're riding the waves, yeah, you're not gonna get COVID. Like if you are like if you are, with a family, you could go as a family. You could go, go with people in your household. People who live in your apartment or people who live in your house. You could go together to the beach, and you're gonna have so much fun. You only have a week left. I mean, you only have a week left to swim with Mandy and Mindy, the two pretty fishes. Uh, yeah, I mean, you don't have that much time left, to have all the fun. I mean, geez, horrible life, horrible 6 months, wait, awaits you, winter when everything is closed. There's this death and pain and suffering. This is summer. This is the time to go and have fun. And so don't miss out on the fun, you will regret it because you're gonna see how horrible the winter will be. Imagine a lot of people dying. Right now, colleges, there are tens of thousands of college students infected. After like a week, 2 weeks of all opening, there are tens of thousands of college students infected already. By flu season, you're gonna probably have like maybe millions, or hundreds of thousands. Because right now it's already tens of thousands. So by next week, it'll probably be 100,000. So yeah, I'm predicting probably like we'll go over a million in 2-3 weeks, infections for college students. Yeah, I mean, It's yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. So enjoy yourself when you can, especially colleges where they have in class, like with a ceiling, small room where you are stuck in there. There's high chance you're going to get COVID. So I feel bad for you, those of you who have in-class colleges. As you know, I lobbied very hard at Georgetown University to go 100% online. So Georgetown University started classes yesterday. Wednesday was the first day of classes. And Georgetown University graduate students and undergraduates, they're happy as a clam because they know they don't have to die, with mandatory going to college campus and classes, so they're very happy, And, you can do everything you could do online that you could do in classroom. I mean, at the college level, you could do everything online, 100% online. You don't need to be in a physical classroom. Obviously, if you have lab, you have to be in a physical classroom generally, or lab. But even now, they're able to do like simulations and virtual, so you don't even have to be in the lab for that. Um, but yeah, I mean, like 90% of college courses you could do 100% online. Um, Clinical nurse leader. As you know, I am cohort 2020, part of cohort 2020, a clinical nurse leader, CNL 2020 at Georgetown University. And, we went 100% online in March when, like, during spring break, Georgetown announced we're going on 100% online. So, was it spring break? Oh, maybe it was like a week after spring break. But anyway, I had my flu. I got flu even though I had flu vaccine, and I almost died from that. My influenza A developed into acute, bronchitis. Um, yeah, I almost died from that. But yeah, people die from flu all the time. But obviously, COVID-19 is far worse. I felt so miserable for like weeks. Oh my gosh. I can imagine how painful suffering of COVID patient will be or is, although I've heard it's like 10, 100 times more painful than flu. So, my gosh, I'm like, man, the flu was horrible. Acute bronchitis, that was horrible. And COVID-19 is 100 times worse. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a horrible winter. How many people do you know who get flu in the summer? It's like zero. Um, so right now there are 1,106 Americans dying from COVID-19 in the summer. Can you imagine how horrific it will be in the winter? Heerak Christian Kim, that's who I am. I'm predicting that 60,000 people minimum or average would die per state. We have 50 states. So that means 3 million Americans will die this winter. You just have to break it down. We have 50 states. You have 60,000 people dying in every state. You have 3 million people dying. Easily. We're going to have easily 3 million Americans die in the winter because, New York, which basically is the only city that really suffered during, like major city that suffered, they had 30,000 plus die in a little over a month. One city. I mean, it was like whole state of New York, but like one city had most of the deaths. And flu season is 6 months long. Yeah, it's long. So you can imagine how many people are going to die. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, Christmas is like smack in the middle, or it's not really smack in the middle. But it's around the middle of flu season. Flu season starts like what? Some say September, some say October, right? It goes till like what? April. So it's like 6 months, a little over 6 months. So I guess like if it starts around September, October, goes to April-ish. I guess Christmas is like only about 1/3 there. But yeah, I'm predicting that at least 20% of my cohort, clinical nurse leaders, CNL would die before Christmas. Unfortunately, obviously, I don't want them to die. But once flu season hits, it's going to be dazed and confused. Everybody's going to be dazed and confused because it's going to happen so quick, and everybody's going to get sick, and hospitals is going to fill up, and ICU is going to fill up, ventilators are going to be gone. Every state, all 50 states. So you can imagine what's going to happen. It's like New York happening, but in all 50 states. Remember, like in March and April, we're just focused on New York, kind of like New Jersey. It's not going to be like that this winter. It's going to be all 50 states. People will be dying in large numbers. All 50 states. You will not be able to keep up, because there'll be 50 states going crazy with COVID deaths. Yeah, I think far more than 60,000 will die per state, to be honest with you. It's unfortunate, but obviously nurses have the highest chance of death because they're working with COVID patients every day. Yeah, so I want to just do a cheer for my, all of us, we're 25 of us who graduated from Clinical Nurse Leader 2020. We're certified for graduation on August 24, 2020, this Monday. All of us, 20, all of us. So, yeah, so, we're very excited, CNL, 2020, CNL, Georgetown University 2020, yay! So we have 25 of us, and I'm predicting like around 20% die, that's like 5. It could be 40%, 20% to 40%. People with asthma, peanut allergies, fat people, that's the highest chance of death. A lot of people are going to die. Obviously, it's horrible, but hey, at least you could say you graduated from Georgetown's Clinical Nurse Leader program. You could put that on your epitaph. Here lies XY who graduated from Georgetown University Clinical Nurse Leader program, 2 years of living hell. I survived hell to die by COVID. I mean, what are you going to cry about this? I mean, but yeah, it's probably a good idea for all of us clinical nurse leader to write out a will, maybe write out an epitaph or an obituary, have that kind of filed away in case you die. And then, you have the epitaph tombstone that you want, obituary you want in your local newspaper. It's like choosing a class ring. I'm in the process of choosing my class ring for Georgetown University. CNL 2020 Georgetown, CNL 2020 Georgetown, yay! Clinical nurse leaders. Yeah, so I'm very proud of my achievement at Georgetown. All of us are. All 25 of us lived through hell and survived it. I'm considering making a shirt. We lived through hell and survived it. CNL 2020 Georgetown. Yeah, it was 2 years of living hell, literally living hell. You could ask any one of us, 25 CNL 2020. I am 99% sure every single one of them will say it was living hell for 2 years, but I'm sure they also will say it's the best thing that they did, many of them, if not all of them, That's why, I recommend you go to Clinical Nurse Leader program. If you have a bachelor's, you need a bachelor's degree to get into master's program in Clinical Nurse Leader. It's very competitive. Obviously, I consider Georgetown's Clinical Nurse Leader program as #1 in America. Deadline for application, I believe, is like November 1st. So you have like 2 months to get your application stuff ready. Ask your professor for recommendation. I think you start applying now, if I'm not mistaken. Check with, Amanda Patterson. She's our, hi, Amanda. Amanda Patterson, she's our coordinator, CNL coordinator. So she's like an administrator who handles everything. So she's really nice. You're going to love her. Any one of you who's going to come to Clinical Nurse Leader, you're lucky because Amanda's there. We love you, Amanda. Amanda Patterson, she's nice. I really like Amanda. She throws the best like department parties. These things matter. Like during Valentine's, she throws like these Valentine parties. Christmas, there's a Christmas party. Halloween, there's a Halloween party. I mean, Amanda Patterson is the best thing that happened to CNL program, in my opinion. And she has all these nice food. It makes life, great. A friend of mine, when I was at Cambridge University, Paul Lim, he's now a professor at Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt University, and so he's in the faculty. He's in the School of Theology there, Divinity School at Vanderbilt. So both of us grew up in Philadelphia. His father is like an elder in Yongsen Jangnogyoe, which is a big Korean church. And Yongsen Jangnogyoe's pastor and my father, they're really close friends. My father was, he's retired now, but he was senior pastor of First Korean Presbyterian Church, Jejangnogyoe. So, we grew up in the same city and, we went to the same Bible camps and stuff like that. We know the same people. So Paul Lim, he's at Vanderbilt University, Divinity School. And we were at Cambridge University together, and he was the president of Cambridge University Korean Society. And then I became president of Cambridge University Korean Society. Paul Lim, he's like pushed me to run. He's like, you should become president. You should become president. I was like, okay. So I ran and I became president. Wherever I go, I'm like leader of Koreans. What can I say? Yeah. So they voted me in to be president of Korean Cambridge University Korean Society. Yeah, and I actually have a book published called Resgestai Christiani. If you type in my name, Heerak Christian Kim, in Amazon, you could probably locate this book. Yeah. So I chronicled everything that I did that was positive and good. Yeah, I may write a book about Georgetown University. I was the vice president of graduate student government, GradGov, from May 2019 to May 2020, 1 year. And I've accomplished so many great things for 9,000 graduate students at Georgetown University. It's my constitutional duty as the vice president to form the graduate senate. So, I worked with the committee and I contacted every director of a degree, master's, PhD, doctorate degrees, at every school of nursing and health studies, McCourt School of Public Policy, Wall School of Foreign Service, McDonald School of Business, medical school, PhD programs, master's programs. Yeah, graduate school, all departments, physics department, English department, history department, every department, we have master's and doctoral programs, German department, French department, Italian department. Yeah, so I'm every director of every master's program, every doctoral program at Georgetown University knows me. What can I say? I'm famous, Yes, I guess I'll write a book. Right now I'm busy, studying for my NCLEX RN because, clinical nurse leader is, for people who have a bachelor's, who want to become nurses. And also it's a master's degree for clinical nurse leader. It trains you to be a clinical nurse leader, which is a specific like management leadership role. And so, yeah, so, so I took the national certification exam. I passed it on the first day in the open window for testing period. And so I'm waiting for my certificate to come, clinical nurse leader. And so that's a national certification and it's very respected. So basically nationally clinical nurse leaders work like MBA managers, like middle managers. What we do is we work in a unit and we coordinate like doctors, nurses, physical therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists, respiratory therapists, social workers, the chaplain. We coordinate everything. for patient care. So we're like the managers, of the hospital unit. So we're like middle managers. That's what we're trained as. It's like an MBA. MBA trains you to be a middle management. Generally, some people go on to CEO, but it trains you primarily to be middle management. So that's what we are trained as, middle management. So that master's degree is as clinical nurse leaders, right? So it's like an MBA, Master of Business Administration. We are masters in clinical nurse leader. So we are leaders in the hospital setting. MBA are leaders in corporate setting. And so, but 25 of us are trained to be leaders. So we have a lot of courses on leadership, a lot of projects on leadership. Um, yeah, all of us can be very good leaders in the hospital setting. Um, yeah, so there's a national certification exam to be certified to be a clinical nurse leader. So I took it, I passed. So that's a very big accomplishment, obviously. Um, and so, and our program is called Clinical Nurse Leader Program, obviously, because that's the most important thing. And then RN, it's just like a license that you need to practice nursing. Since all of us have bachelors in non-nursing fields, and this is our first, experience with nursing, basically. Um, and so, some of us worked as certified nursing aides, and have some other experiences, but in the hospital setting, but some were lab technician like Trisha. Hi, Trisha. Um, and you know, pharmacy techs like Maggie McLaughlin. Hey, Maggie. So we have like people who are like doing other things that may be in the hospital setting, uh, but um, but yeah, I mean, this is supposed to be like your intensive nursing program. It combines like leadership courses as well. So we have to take two exams, obviously, the national certification to be clinical nurse leader. Generally, you need a master's degree in nursing for that. And then we have the RN exam, that NCLEX RN exam that we take. So 25 of us were studying really hard for that. Yeah, so it's good. Obviously, a lot of nurses are going to die, so we're basically taking this exam to go die. you know, treating COVID patients. All 25 of us may get COVID and get sick, and 5 may die. We don't know. I mean, I think if you're going to be working as a nurse during the flu season, you have to expect to get it. I mean, if you don't get it, great, but you should expect to get it. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know if all 25 are going to be working as nurses. I'm at Virginia Hospital Center, but yeah, but you know, uh, I think majority of us will be at hospital in flu season. Yeah, Maggie's going to be at MedStar Washington Center. Yeah, so yeah, they're really lucky to have her. She's really good. All of us are very good, all 25 five of us. So whoever has us is very lucky. Um, but yeah, so yeah, but it's horrible out there. What's coming in America? What's coming to America? What's coming all over America in flu season? It's going to be horrible. So enjoy the beach when you can. I mean, geez, you have 1 week of beach left, and then it's 6 months of hell. Yeah, I mean, people are going to die left and right. Um, I don't believe the liberal media. Don't believe the liberal media that says there's going to be a cure or vaccine before Christmas. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Um, they could develop something, but it's not going to work, or it's going to have side effects. So yeah, don't count on something they could rely on. The best thing right now is kind of self-isolate, take courses online. I've called on Governor Northam to issue an executive order requiring all the colleges to have 100% online classes. He's not listening. It's unfortunate because people are going to die in large numbers. Colleges are testing, but they get results so late, like several days late. By the time by the time they find out someone has COVID, that person has infected like dozens of people or hundreds of people. Not just on college campus, but they walk around in the city and stuff like that, infecting other people. Every college has students from Texas, California, Florida. So obviously, you're going to have COVID death from these states coming to your states, all 50 states. So yeah, you shouldn't be surprised if far more than 3 million die. By the time colleges know that you have it, it's too late. If there are 200 people who have it, it could spread to like tens of thousands in relatively short time, just from those 200 people or 300 people. Yeah, it's too late by the time you find out that people have it. That's why I lobbied at Georgetown to close the campus down. Because if the students don't come to campus, right, you have less chance of bringing COVID-19 from all these other states, Florida, California, right, Texas. If they stay at home with their family, they're not going to be bringing that stuff here. And they're safe over there as well. Because the more you move around, the more greater chance you're going to have to get it. So yeah, yeah, staying put in your home is the best way to survive COVID. Moving around, I mean, geez, that's the way you get COVID. You know, um, yeah, things are horrific here in America. For those of you watching in England, Harry Potter land. Harry, the owl's like eyes perked up when I say Harry Potter land. um, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's horrible here. You think about it, 1,106 people dying every day or more. Um, yeah, so we have 180,814 people dead already. It's not flu season. Yeah, you're gonna be adding like three in front of 180,814. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of sad. Confirmed cases are 5,866,214. So we're rising at the rate of about 40 to 60,000 per day. Flu season is going to be far worse. We may have like hundreds of thousands of cases per day. Yeah, you got to brace yourself. 30% of America can easily get infected. It's 100 million people. Yeah. Um, yeah, 6 months is a long time. Flu season is very long. Make sure you get your flu shot. Don't forget to get your flu shot. CVS Pharmacy has flu shots, and Walgreens has flu shots. It's time to get flu shots is now. Bring all your children. Flu shots are safe. It's been time tested for a long time. So get your flu shot. And if your children haven't had all the vaccinations, make sure they get all the vaccinations like measles vaccine, rubella, Tdap. Just go to your pediatrician and ask him to give your children every single vaccine. Yeah, I mean, COVID-19 is going to be horrific. So you got to make sure you have other vaccines. You don't want your child to die. I mean, the vaccines that are in existence, most of them are safe. Obviously, you kind of need them to protect your children from death by COVID. Even with all the vaccines, your children can die from COVID, obviously, but your children's chances will be higher. So I recommend you get all the vaccines. That's been around for like years. So anything that could go wrong has gone wrong. So they fixed, whatever. Obviously, there's always a small exception. It's not like a new vaccine, right? Where it's hard to trust it, but all these vaccines that children take, they've been around for a long time. So there's no worries about that. Top five, Iran is number one. And yeah, look at that. They don't have as many cases as Florida. And one state has far more cases than Iran. Iran has 367,796 cases, and they have 21,137 deaths. So 6% have died from COVID in Iran. compared to America, it's like drop in the bucket. You know, it's like 20 days in America. That's number one. Number two is Saudi Arabia. They have 311,855. And so their death rate is like rising at 1%. And so, yeah, so it's 3,785 deaths. It's like 3 days in America. I mean, it gives you perspective, you know, as to how bad it is in America. And it's going to get worse in flu season. As I said, you should expect average of 60,000 people to die in every state. 3 million in the United States will die, minimum. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking. You know, I don't joke about death, you know. Yeah, I mean, why do you think I tell you to go to the beach right now? Because you may not make it to Christmas. Yeah, have fun at the beach because, you know, geez, have fun at the beach with your loved ones, your children, your wife, you know, have fun at the beach with people in your apartment, with people at your home, your family members, because you may die before Christmas, you know, at least you have some memories as you lie intubated with all these tubes down your throat, down your nose, down every orifice in your body. At least you have the memory of having fun in summer of 2020 to keep you going. I mean, that may just get you through COVID. You know what I mean? You need a psychological happy place. And in nursing, we call that guided imagery. We tell the patient, what happy memory do you have? And the patient will be like, oh, in the summer of 2020 in August, I went and swam with Mandy and Mindy. It was so fun. I went with my children, my husband, and, you know, so I would say like, so Mrs. Jones. So what you need to focus on, Mrs. Jones, is that happy memory. Just think about that happy memory. Close your eyes. Think about the happy memory. Yes, it's technically called guided imagery in nursing. It's one of our interventions. This is one of the things that we do to help the patient heal. Yes. Now, let's say the patient has no happy memories. You're screwed. How are we going to do guided imagery if you don't have happy memories? Do you see what I'm saying? Happy memories, you have to be created. Happy memories have to be experienced, right? Because when you're happy, you feel it all over your body, inside and out. That's why guided imagery works. We guide this imagery of your happy thoughts, your happy place, where you were experiencing happiness, and that memory triggers healing process in your body, can help you manage pain, help you manage anxiety, can even holistically help in the healing of your body from COVID. And we call that cura personalis. At Georgetown University, as you know, Georgetown University is a Catholic university, and it's a Jesuit university. And one of the mottos in Jesuit tradition, Catholic tradition, is cura personalis. It's cure of the whole person. And so, yeah, so, you know, we like using guided imagery and you know, other factors to help you get better. And so guided imagery is an important factor in nursing, and I'm trying to help you create happy memories for when you get COVID-19 so you can survive it. Why do you think I'm like, go to the beach, have fun, go to the beach, have fun? Because I'm trying to help you survive COVID-19, right? You have to have happy memories that we can use, we nurses can use to bring guided imagery and as a tool to help you survive COVID. You see what I'm saying? You have to make happy memories. You know, going to the beach is a happy memory, just jumping the waves, that's a lot of fun. And your children need happy memories, because let's say your child gets COVID, you know, he's 9 years old, comes to National Children's Hospital, and the nurse is like, what's a happy memory you have? And the child's like, I don't remember any happy memories. You know, you're kind of screwed. You can't use guided imagery. You're going to make some happy memories for your children. It will help them survive COVID. You know, everything I do in this show is addressing the whole person, cura personalis. You know, you're very fortunate that I care about you and your children. And I'm trying to think ahead to flu season when you and your children may have COVID to prepare you for that. You see what I'm saying? I'm thinking ahead several months. Yeah, I mean, everything, there's a reason why I say and encourage you to do things. Like when I say, go to the beach and have fun, there's a reason for that. I mean, yeah, I want you to have fun for the sake of having fun, but obviously this show is created to help you survive COVID-19 and have your children survive COVID-19. So there's a reason for everything I recommend you to do. And obviously, if you read, you know, if you follow my recommendation, you have a better chance of surviving COVID-19. You know, I'm Heerak Christian Kim, independent candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District. Yeah. And so, yeah, in America, a lot of people are dying. A lot of people are not dying in Middle East, right? Yeah, look at that. Saudi Arabia only has 3,785 people dying. Iraq only has what? Number 3 in cases, 219,435 cases, 6,740 people are dying or have died. Qatar, look at that, 170,988 cases, less than 1% is dying. 0.2% are dying. 195 people, that's like what? Like 20% of people who died today in America. And that's like in Qatar from November 2019 to now. Total death. Israel is not an Arabic nation, although there are Arabs there. There are Palestinians there who are Arabs. It's a Jewish state, Israel, as you know. They have 110,403 cases, 884 deaths. So it's less than 1% death there either. You know, whole Middle East, not too many people are dying. Yeah, but you know, America, a lot of people are dying. Yeah, so you gotta be careful. Yeah, I mean, but you know, in the summer, I encourage you to go and have fun. Have fun at the beach. You need happy memories. You're not going to survive 6 months of dreary winter or winter of hell for 6 months if you don't get some fun in before it starts. Please go to the beach, have fun tomorrow. Not, yeah, if you don't have work tomorrow, go have fun tomorrow. But obviously, Saturday, take your children, go and have fun. You know, this is like summer. Take some time, take some days off from work. Go to the beach, have fun. You know, yeah, you need this for winter. Winter is coming. Yeah. Yeah, I want to share some photos with you from CPAC 2020. You know, a lot of interesting people. You know, when I was at CPAC, I was running as a Republican candidate for Republican convention. We did not have primaries in the Republican Party. We had a convention. So in the convention, delegates vote for the candidates. So Arlington County Republican Party Committee, Alexandria Republican Committee, Falls Church Republican Committee, Fairfax Republican Committee, they come together to vote for the delegate, for the candidate, or the delegates vote. And whoever the delegates vote for becomes the candidate. So I was running for the convention. And if you see the video at the end of this video, it's like a very short video. You can see why I decided not to continue running as a Republican candidate for the convention. I switched over to be independent, no party affiliation. I changed my status with Federal Election Commission in March. So I started running as an independent in March. Obviously, underneath this, you can see Mark Elmore all the way at the bottom right-hand corner. That's Mark Elmore. He also was running in February to be a Republican candidate, and then next to that is Mike Webb, who's African American, and he was running as a Republican candidate as well. And then Jeff Jordan, I don't know, I didn't see Jeff Jordan around at CPAC 2020. Maybe he had other things to do. Um, yeah, but there are four of us running for Republican ticket. And then, if you see the video at the end of this video, left-hand top corner video, you just click on that, you see why I decided to run as an independent. So we're all friends, Mark Elmore, Mike Webb, Jeff Jordan, me, all of us are friends. Um, Jeff Jordan won. Basically, I pulled out, became an independent. Mike Webb actually went independent as well. So it was this Mark Elmore versus Jeff Jordan, and Jeff Jordan won. So he's the official Republican candidate for Virginia 8th District. And Tom Byer is a Democrat, and I am independent. So I started running as an independent in March, and Governor Northam issued a stay-at-home order from March 30th to June 10th, making it illegal for me to collect 1,000 signatures. None of us had to collect any signatures for Republican convention. We just needed delegates to, to choose us. But since I chose to run as an independent in March and change my status with Federal Election Commission in March, obviously now I need to collect 1,000 signatures. But because Virginia Governor Northam issued a stay-at-home order in March until June 10th, I couldn't collect any signatures. So, obviously I have a reason why I couldn't collect it, because it was illegal. And Governor Northam made it illegal. So I wrote a letter to Chip Piper, the commissioner of Virginia Department of Elections. So he's the head guy, top guy. And he wrote back, and saying he doesn't have the legal authority to give me a waiver. I think he wanted to, but he didn't have the authority. So I wrote to Governor Northam, since he told me that. And Governor Northam hasn't written back yet. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for like over a month. And, deadline is June 9th. And I didn't hear back. I still haven't heard back yet from Governor Northam. So I said, I better just file the lawsuit now. So I filed the lawsuit on June 3rd, 2020 in Arlington Circuit Court. So obviously I'm still in the game. I am officially or legally running as independent candidate for U.S. Congress of Virginia's 8th District. Obviously, Virginia Circuit Court has to order Governor Northam to give me a waiver, and then I will be put into the ballot. And so yeah, so so basically, yeah, I mean it's in the courts now. I talked to the clerk of Arlington Circuit Court, and he said, the trial will be in September. So, I'm expecting the judge to grant me the, or the jury to grant me the waiver. So my name will be on the ballot. So, yeah, so you'll see my name on the ballot. Obviously it's in the court system, which makes me legit. I am legitimate candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District as an independent candidate because I have sued Governor Northam and Department of Election in the court of law. So it's in the judiciary branch now, because I'm arguing that Governor Northam issued executive order making it impossible for me to collect the signature. So I should be given a waiver as justice measure, right? Justice demands it. And I expect the judge to give me satisfaction on this lawsuit against Governor Northam and Virginia Department of Elections. So I'm not worried. my name will be on the ballot. So just vote for me on November 3rd, 2020. If for any reason my name is not on your absentee ballot, just write my name in, Heerak Christian Kim. The court case will be in September, so so that's why. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I'm registered with U.S. Congress Office of the Clerk, so Nancy Pelosi knows I'm an official candidate for the U.S. Congress of Virginia's 8th District. Yeah, and I know I'm better than Tom Byer. I'm like the best for the job, so you should vote for me. But yeah, so you see Mark Elmore and Mike Webb. They're great guys. They're great guys. We're all buddies. Um, if I become a U.S. Congressman, I'll probably give them jobs, positions in my government, or my office. Um, Above Mark Elmore is a new friend I made from New York. She's running. She's an Orthodox Jewish woman. She's running for U.S. Congress, I think in Bronx. So yeah, as a Republican, yeah, you make a lot of good friends, which is great. And next to Mike Webb is an Asian guy. I think he's Chinese. He's running for U.S. Congress. I forgot in which state, But yeah, he's a good guy too, I made a ton of friends, which is good. Next to him is a guy who's interested in running in the future. He's a Hasidic Jew from Brooklyn. Um, yeah, he's like ultra orthodox. He's a nice guy. I befriended him. He's a good guy. I lived in Israel for over 3 years. My closest Jewish friends were like living in Mea Shearim and really ultra orthodox people. I had a lot of close friends who are ultra orthodox. I'm an expert of Jewish history, as you know. I'm one of the respected world experts of Jewish studies. And my expertise is Jewish identity, group identity, individual identity, and Jewish law. And so, yeah, so like many of my colleagues, in the American Association for Jewish Studies, AJS, they're like Orthodox, they're really religious Jews. I mean, Association for Jewish Studies, like almost 100% Jewish, like membership. I'm not a Jew, but hey, I've been a member for over 10 years. I like Jewish people, so I like socializing with Jewish people, partying with Jewish people. I date a lot of pretty beautiful Jewish women. Obviously, they have to convert to Christianity for me to marry them. I'm not going to be marrying a Jew because I'm a Christian, and in Christian tradition, you have to marry a Christian. Yeah, I had like 3 women in Israel who wanted to marry me. One was ultra Orthodox. She's from like Chile, Caroline Tannenbaum. We went out together, and she was Orthodox, modern Orthodox. Um, and I had like a couple other women who wanted to marry me, and but all of them wanted me to convert to Judaism. I'm like, no way, Jose, I'm Christian. No, I didn't say that to them. I didn't like offend them intentionally. I had to let them out easy, and I'm a nice guy. But yeah, like a lot of Jewish women like me, Wherever I go, a lot of Jewish women at Georgetown like me, like romantically. Um, I mean, I don't know why. Wherever I go, Jewish women like me romantically. They always want me to convert to Judaism. That's a problem. You have to convert to Christianity. I can't marry a Jew. I'm a Christian. My biblical law forbids me to marry a Jew, or any people of any other religion. You convert to Christianity, I can marry you, but you have to convert. It's a Christian law, fundamental Christian law in the New Testament. Do not be unequally yoked. So I can't marry anybody who's not Christian. Yeah, so I mean, I've dated Muslims before. I've dated Hindus. I've dated Buddhists. I mean, you name the religion. I've dated an amazingly beautiful woman from that religion. But I mean, but you should. I have to be honest with you. You should not date people of other religion because it's too complicated. You know, since dating is for marriage, you should date a Christian. That's my recommendation to you. Um, yeah, but anyway, yeah. But wherever I go, Jewish women follow me. They want to marry me. I have like Yeah, wherever I go. When I was at Harvard, there was, I don't know, maybe I should say, well, I'm going to say, I might die before Christmas. I don't want this to die with me. In my doctoral seminar in Jewish studies at Harvard, uh, there was Elisheva Septimus. And anyone in Jewish studies know Septimus as this famous name because Bernard Septimus was is one of the leading experts in the world in like medieval Judaism. He's like amazingly famous. Bernard Septimus. It was professor at Harvard, and his daughter Elisheva Septimus. I mean, she's all Orthodox. Like she dresses Orthodox. But she was in my seminar, for Jewish law. Yeah, we were like reading Talmud, Tar, Tar, Talmud Yerushalmi together. Yeah, the Jerusalem Talmud or the Palestinian Talmud together in that doctoral seminar at Harvard. Um, she's pretty. I'm not gonna lie to you. She was really, really pretty. So I was thinking like maybe I could convert her to Christianity and marry her. Her father's this legend in Jewish studies. She's pretty, and she's a very moral person. Follows the Torah and Hok, the law in the Bible. And she's Masorti. She keeps the traditions. And so I was like, wow, I mean, it may be a possibility. I'm like this, amazing student of Jewish studies who's famous all over the world. Everybody knows me. Uh, who's destined for greatness. I'm sure, Professor Septimus, would not have problem having me as his son-in-law, except for the fact that I'm not Jewish, so he may have problem with that because he's all like ultra Orthodox Jewish. So yeah, I guess he would have trouble with that. But I'm just saying, that's the only thing he would have trouble with, I would say. So I kind of like Elisheva, Elisheva Septimus. She's pretty. She did her undergraduate degree at Harvard, and she was in the PhD program in Jewish studies at Harvard. She's very, very bright. Amazingly bright. It's just really pretty. But yeah, it's not that easy to convert people within Jewish studies doctoral seminar when you're like the only non-Jew in the doctoral seminar. I was like the only non-Jew. Everybody was Jewish. The majority of the PhD students at Harvard were in that seminar were all Orthodox. Yeah, I think they were all Jewish. I was the only non-Jew in the whole seminar of like 15 people. And I think like out of the 15, I was non-Jewish. I am still non-Jewish. Uh, I think 13 were ultra Orthodox Jewish. Like I know there might be a modern Orthodox, but like they're all Orthodox. And there was like one person who was like conservative Jewish. Yeah, whole seminar. The professor was ultra Orthodox as well. Isaiah Gaffney taught that class. I mean, he has joint appointments at Harvard and Hebrew University. I studied with him at Hebrew University as well when I was in Israel. But yeah, he's a legend in Talmudic studies. So yeah, um, yeah. So yeah, Jewish women like me. I think Elisheva like me too. But it's kind of like a stranger walked among us. I'm like the stranger, and like she's like the Orthodox woman. You know, you know, or her whole community. Everybody in the doctoral seminar was like Orthodox except for one person was conservative. And I think the conservative person like kept the laws, kashrut and Shabbat, Shomer Shabbat, kept Sabbath day and kosher laws. So he's kind of like functionally, um, yeah. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, Jews love me wherever I go. When I was in Israel, I did advanced research with Professor Avi Horvitz, who's like #1 Hebrew philology expert in Israel. And I studied Hebrew inscriptions with him, like ancient inscriptions on like grave sites, tomb sites, and stuff like that. Like inscriptions, original source. Um, and I presented my research at the American Oriental Society at University of Chicago. And Anson Rainey, who's a famous expert on Hebrew inscriptions, said my paper was really good. Yeah, Anson Rainey taught at Tel Aviv University in Tel Aviv. It was like #1 expert in inscriptions at Tel Aviv, and he was one of the top 5 in the world, 5 to 10 in the world. Um, anyway, yeah, and when I was researching with Professor Ivy Hurwitz, one day I walked into his, went to his office during our appointed time, and who's there? This beautiful blonde, blue-eyed woman. I'm like, hello, I'm here for my doctoral seminar, or not doctoral seminar, guided research with Professor Hurwitz. And she's like, oh, I'm his daughter. He's kind of running late, so he just wanted, me to, keep you company until he arrives. He didn't arrive for like an hour. So I had nice fun talking to her, Yeah, it's just beautiful, she's, yeah. So anyway, she was like a sophomore at Hebrew University of Jerusalem doing her bachelor's. So she was like 20 years old or 21 years old or something like that. Very beautiful. Yeah, a lot of professors wanted me to marry their daughter, Yeah, I mean, with Jews and non-Jews, because, you know, I'm legendary in my field, Jewish studies. Everybody knows me. Go to Europe, everybody knows me. America, everybody knows me. Everybody knows me in the field of Jewish studies. So I'm legendary. So yeah, obviously, a lot of people want me as their son-in-law, you know. But what can I say, yeah. um, yeah, when I was at Brown, I dated this Orthodox girl who went to Stanford. I think I told you about it on another show. Took her on a date. She was doing her PhD at Brown. It was a good time, Um, yeah, so yeah, Jewish women like me everywhere I go. Yeah, I think part of it is because I'm an expert of Jewish studies. I know far more than any Jew in a typical university. So Jewish women kind of like that, I think. And also, I'm very intelligent. I'm the Leonardo da Vinci of 21st century. And I found like a lot of Jewish women are like at Harvard or, in the Ivy League or Cambridge, or Heidelberg. They seem to like men who are kind of intelligent, I guess, I don't think it's my body. I mean, it's not like I don't have a bad body. I'm just kind of overweight, Um, yeah. So I don't think they love me for my body, you know. Uh, so I think it's my brain, but I can't complain. All these beautiful women wanting to spend time with me to date me. I can't complain. Um, but anyhow, um, yeah. Next to uh, to my Jewish friend, ultra Orthodox Jewish friend, is a famous legendary guy from Virginia, GOP. Everybody knows him in Virginia. Um, and above that, you have some groupies with me, Virginia 8th District, independent candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District, with Manga Power. She's the official Republican candidate for Virginia 11th District, like Vienna area, where Mark Keem is. Hey, Mark. I haven't personally met Mark Keem yet. He's in Vienna somewhere, but I'm sure we have like mutual friends. So, I mean, when I meet him, maybe like I might have met him before. I met a lot of Korean people before, so I wouldn't be surprised if I had met him in other contexts. It's possible. I mean, I don't think he's a leader in the Korean church. I am a leader, so I know a lot of leaders, but I don't know. I don't think he's a leader in the Korean church. I don't know. I guess I could ask him when I meet him. But anyway, hello to you, fellow Korean person, nearby area. But anyway, yeah. I mean, Korean community is all connected. Everybody knows everybody. It's a small world in the Korean community. Yeah, everyone knows everybody. Yeah, yeah. By the way, hey Paul, how's Vanderbilt University? Yeah, hearing you're doing great things over there at Vanderbilt Divinity School. Yeah, he's a smart guy. He went to Yale as an undergraduate, and then he went to Biblical Theological Seminary. It belongs to Bible Presbyterians, very conservative Presbyterians. They're kind of like Baptists, very close to Baptists. So like I think Al Martin may be very close to it. Al Martin is a Reformed Baptist in New Jersey. Reverend Al Martin, he's famous. You know, you could hear his tapes. Google his name, Reverend Al Martin. But yeah, so he did his MDiv, Master of Divinity, and then at Biblical Theological Seminary got ordained, and then he did Master of Theological Studies at Princeton University, and then he went to Cambridge University, got his doctorate. The Professor Lee at Princeton University is a good friend of my dad. He taught for like 4 decades at Princeton Seminary. Yeah. So yeah, so Paul studied with him. But yeah, so Paul is more like he's more historical theologian. And he's he's respected in his field. Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, so read some of his stuff. Paul Lim, Vanderbilt University. Just Google it, read his books. You learn something. Yeah, and then next to manga power. Manga is from India, as you can see from her clothing there. I like the fact that she wears her traditional clothing. You should be proud of your heritage. You know, I wish, you know, I had like Korean traditional clothing, but you know, it's really expensive because it's all made out of silk. And because I'm like bigger, I told you women don't follow me for my body. You know, I don't know, maybe they do. I can't speak for them, but I don't know why all these beautiful women love me. You know, I have no idea, but you know, thank God yeah, they do. You know, but anyway, next to that is you know, like Friends. You know, like the guy all the way on the right. He's kind of, you know, he ran for like positions in Virginia. He's a nice guy, you know. Yeah, we joke around a lot. And then the two people in the middle, they're like a couple, and they're from Oregon, Republicans. They're kind of prominent over there in Oregon. Yeah, you know, you meet a lot of good people, you know, at like CPAC, and it's like fun to hang out and just like socialize and just, you know, it's like you become friends, you know. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to going to CPAC 2021, hopefully as U.S. Congressman for Virginia's 8th District. So vote for me on November 3rd, 2020. Don't believe the liberal media. Yeah. So yeah, because liberal media is not trustworthy, especially in the election year. Liberal media is fake news. But yeah. Anyway, you know, I created this show to save you and your children from COVID-19. So I hope this is helpful to you. I hope you take the recommendations. Obviously, you're free. You do what you want. But as you know, every decision comes with a consequence. So, you know, I'll be very careful. You know, this is COVID-19 America. It's not like normal, like 2019 America. It's COVID-19 America. You know, over 1,000 people are dying every day. You know, let's get priorities straight. You know, some people are kind of like ignoring the fact that 1,000 people are dying every day. But yes, 1,000 people are dying every day. Do not believe the liberal media. And in winter, you know, if 60,000 people die per state, which is highly likely, you have 3 million Americans dead. So, you know, that's highly likely. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's true. Obviously, I'm going to try to give you recommendations so you and your family and your children can survive COVID-19. So keep watching this show. It's a daily show. Yeah, I'm glad that you were able to join me for this show. We're like a family, you know. I'm sure you see me as like part of your family. I'm glad to bring you news, information, insights that can save you and your children from COVID-19. Yeah, so yeah, keep watching. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And don't forget, Have fun at the beach. Make some happy memories before it's too late, right? One more week of beach left. Surf's up.